Hello and welcome to Navigating the Chapters of Challenge with Tele. Today I've got a guest in the house. I've got Rita with me. Rita is the author of Enhancing Intimacy in Ethnic Minority Christian Marriages. She's the author of Love and Laughter in Marriages. She's the author of Trafficked Women, A Problem of Vulnerability Without Rehabilitation. She is the host of Homefront Matters and the host of Love and Laughter in Christian Marriages, an event which is an annual event for Christian couples to laugh and have fun together. So we've got a great guest with us today. Rita, introduce yourself. Tell us some more about yourself.
Oh, you did it justice. What can I say? I am Rita Eluade. I am Mrs. Eluade. I have a husband and two lovely daughters, and I am the convener of Celebrating Love and Laughter. Like you said, the event that is being held annually, Celebrating Love and Laughter in Christian Marriages, is an event for couples, really. That event was actually born out of what we went through in our marriage. So by the grace of God, professionally, I work as a social value lead in London, and I do a lot of things. I actually tell people that I wear a lot of caps, but it depends on how you get me, where you get me, then that cap will, present itself.
So that's in a nutshell who Rita is. And today Rita's going to be discussing something with us that a few people go through when a loved one is sick. An illness, how do you deal with that? How do you navigate your way through that? And Rita's husband went through, was it kidney issues, kidney disease or kidney failure? I'm not quite sure exactly, but she'll explain the details to us. And I don't know much about kidney failure or kidney disease or whatever, but I know that some of the symptoms I was reading about when I was preparing for these things like extreme tiredness, vomiting, and so many other things. But what I wanted to ask was, how did you know there was something wrong? When did you know there was something wrong? And just talk us through what happened initially.
That was a time that when I look back, I am most grateful to God for who God is, really. That was a very challenging time. As it were, my husband, like most people had, I think it started with high blood pressure. So I think it progressed from there. Not so much was known because I didn't know so much, but he knew and he hid it.
Okay.
Like most Nigerian men or African men, they just kind of,
Men generally.
Yeah, men, they don't want to,
bother
you. They don't want you to worry. But I think actually it's good to share whatever the issues are so that you know how to support best. But in my case, it wasn't like that. Again, my husband, for people that know him, is a very private man.
Very shy.
So, yes. I got to know later that this was the issue at hand, and I support it because that's what marriage is about. Because even if everything was fine at the beginning, in the journey of marriage, you never know what will come.
Yeah.
It could be you, it could be him, and I think that's where marriage itself becomes very you have to look at it with glasses, very extra glasses. Is this something I want to go into? It's not just the wedding, really. Mm-hmm. It's a journey. It's a journey that you yourself, you have to kind of evaluate it properly before going in. It's not just about the glamour that we see. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Is this something, because it's really can, be challenging, and you need to be ready to support one another, because this can also be you as a woman that needs the support, and also can be the man that needs the support. Like I say, the communication needs to be open, very, transparent in the marriage. So going back to the question, so when I got to know about it, I would ask questions, again. I encouraged my husband to talk to me, because he's not it's not one of those ones that just talk for people that know him. So we would discuss all these things, what the consultants, what they've said and everything. So one day he came home and he just said that he has to now go on dialysis. I'm like, what? So that was a shock.
So the only symptom was the high blood pressure.
The high blood pressure that from what I know.
Okay.
So,
there must have been other things he didn't let you know about.
But I knew that from what he told me. The progression, was the high blood pressure that started very long time ago.
Okay.
It wasn't just,
one
day.
So it's something he had for a while.
A long time, know. And now we're Christians, we begin to come against generational sickness in the family. The dad had high blood pressure, very bad one at that, So, so we were told, he was told, and he told me that I was going to go on dialysis. And at the time, I saw that as a death sentence. I must be frank with you. Okay. So then, again, I started researching, asking some of the professionals that I knew, what that was about, how I needed to support him and things like that. But I would say this, because of who my husband is, I had to respect everything that he told me about this condition. Okay. Number one, we were not to, he wanted me not to, share with other people. Okay. Because he didn't want his vulnerability to be used as a weapon against him.
In what way?
In the sense that you don't know who you are sharing with. Okay. That are they going to help, or are they going to use it as a point of conversation in the community?
Okay, like I feel sorry for him,
pity him. Okay.
So,
so some of these things, and it kind of puts you in a place where you would want to, because you are the carer, you want to share with people so that you can get support. But as a wife, I had to also respect that about this and our marriage.
But that must have been lonely to not be able to share with anybody.
Very, those that are sick, the patients get all the support, but the carers, they don't get support. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I started, supporting anybody that cares, that cares for maybe a child, a husband, a brother, because I've been there. Yeah. And, especially in our case, he didn't want to, and I had to respect that, really. Yeah. Because the marriage itself, you need to put some things in place. Can I do this? I as a matter of fact, I couldn't do it. I had just really need to go to God in prayers, because it was very, very difficult and challenging at the time. And I had 2 little girls to take care of. One was 2 and one was 9.
Wow.
So he was going for dialysis, and by the grace of God, it was going really well. So one day, the consultant told him, you know what? Now you're doing so well, we have to now let you do the dialysis. I think that's the name, hemodialysis. That is where they bring the machines home.
Okay.
Oh, God. And this is a woman that hates blood. Oh. I can't even stand my monthly flow. Oh. Then I'm not.
So you had to then administer the dialysis in the house, or how does that explain that?
Okay.
Paint a picture of what that looks like.
First of all, like I say, we share this now, and I give God glory, because it was a challenging time, and God just took us through it by His grace. So hemodialysis, or that's the name, something like that is called. That is, they will bring the machines to your home. Then you would, with the help of a nurse, but the nurses are not there all the time, because they will teach you how to, actually, fix the machine, how it works. But you just need somebody to be there.
Okay.
So let me take you a little bit back. I had a very good job, well paid. I was working. So from, I think it was the crisis of 2008 to 2010, the economic crisis, I was made redundant.
Okay.
And I tried to look for a job. I couldn't get a job. I didn't understand why. I couldn't find any job. Nothing. Then later, it dawned on me that I needed to be present to take care of my husband.
Okay.
That's why God
allowed that
so that I will be around, because with hemodialysis, you need to be there as a carer.
Okay.
Because anything can happen.
Okay.
So that's how they brought the machines home. Our bedroom was taken over by the machines. But you see, the thing about it is that, now we talk about it, we just see how God had moved, some things that I didn't even know. How, I would just pray with him, we would just pray. And when he's not there, jokingly, I would just go touch the machine. I'll say, "You've taken over my room, I cast you out in Jesus' name."
Okay.
Because I needed to look for something that would bring laughter.
Yeah.
I would just, my husband would laugh and would laugh, and such little things, really, it was a dark time in our marriage, now we talk about love and laughter, those were the little laughters that we had. So now let me talk to you about dialysis itself. As some of the people that would listen to this would find out or would research or would hear from here. So when you go on dialysis, maybe 3 times a week, you were tired. You were tired, really tired, and you really need support.
Yeah.
But I just thank God for my husband. Even in that, he would hold my hand and say, he calls me I'm not going to call the name here, but he'll call me, the name he calls me, he'll say thank you. He will just pray and pray and pray, and we'll just pray together, and we'll just trust God I will get out of this, Then I would ask myself, when we get out of this, you're going to buy me an island. And he would laugh and we would laugh, and, but it was my husband is very jovial. People that know him, they know he's a joker, but then he's quiet. So those people that know him, they share that particular. But he would just share a joke, but I saw how tired he was.
He was, okay.
And as a wife, I needed to understand a lot of things. How I had to put on
a brave face.
Yes, a brave face and a jacket of a gatekeeper for my home. Then I started reading. I think I read a book that says, there are times when your husband cannot keep the gate, then you rise and keep the gate.
Wow.
But that is not your title. But he allows you and you allow yourself to keep the gate because of the situation. And that's why also you see men, they become motherly because they've taken up the role of their wife when situations are turned around. So, and I think, what the period was around 4 years, there about 3-4 years, taught me was that kindness.
Oh, this lasted for 3-4 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Kindness in the marriage is very necessary. It's paramount that couples are kind to one another.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we think it's about the money or the material things, but really all it takes is for you to humanize the other person and to be compassionate. All that kept going through my head was, this can be me. And I pray if it's me, my husband will rise up and take care of what needs to be taken care of.
Can I ask you, were you tired at any point in time?
I was very tired.
So what did you do when you were tired?
When I was tired,
seek any help for yourself?
When I was tired, I will be frustrated. I will be angry at him. I quarreled with him. Even, I tell you what, at the point I said I was leaving the marriage.
Because of that?
No, because I was overwhelmed.
Okay.
because I couldn't share it.
Okay, he said
And I
you
couldn't
shouldn't share.
I couldn't, So it was really a bad place, Then, like you pour out your anger. But I think then I remembered when I was watching 700 Club some years ago, said you can actually go to God and cry and share what you're feeling to God. Let him know that you're overwhelmed, that you can handle it. Then one day, just about around 1 midnight, I went on this. I became a nuisance. I was crying. I was, Then I slept off. Then I heard clearly that it's because I'm not busy that I cannot see what God is doing.
What do you mean, busy?
Wait a minute. So I pondered. My husband is unwell. I'm taking care of my husband. I don't have a job. My kids, I'm taking care of them. Why? What is coming to what am I hearing? I'm not busy. Then after about 3-4 weeks, again, I heard that if I can just take my mind off myself and look around what I can do to make me busy, that he would take care of this. That was too much. I was like, what?
Something extra to
What?
do on top of this.
Yeah,
oh God.
like, what?
For real?
Yeah, what? So then I started, working with trafficked women, because that was a project, that had started, So I started doing a little bit of those, things. And
were you doing them online or something, or were you going out to do this work?
I would call people that I used to know, that we used to work together. It was mainly about money, sending money, and supporting. If they sent something for me to research, to write, I would advise things like that. So I was just
more like a consultancy kind of thing.
little things, but nobody knew what was happening in my home.
Okay.
So mind you, I didn't have a job, and it was really a tough time for us.
And your husband wasn't working as well at the time?
Because, how is it going to, he had to, from every hard work that, because the job he had then was manual, he had to work, a little bit harder, so he had to stop that. And
so how did you cope financially?
Yeah, we had some money saved.
Okay.
And those things don't last.
No, when you're not adding to it, it doesn't last.
Those things don't last. I've lost my job. So, I used to live in Denmark. I had some money, and but after a while, everything got finished. So I had to now start taking like agency jobs, teaching assistants, that there, But I want to thank God for one thing, that I didn't mind. I knew that was
the season.
I took a lot of, just name the jobs. Forgetting I have a master's degree, I've actually worked as a professional or written books. I just took a lot of little jobs because it was for a season. And we just kept going like that. And after a while, by the grace of God, we were called and my husband had a match, So...
a match?
Yes.
Okay, so you needed a kidney.
Yeah, he needed a kidney. So we got a match, and God fixed and did what he knows how to do best. And I just say that, you never can understand the way God works, because you are in this season, it's like it's all dark. And as you were there, it's like you're fighting to even see your way. There's no light anywhere. But you hear him that it's going to be better, but your faith, or you don't want to. I think I didn't even want to believe that it's going to get better because it was so bad. Okay,
what was your worst fear?
My worst fear was losing my husband, because I have these 2 kids, 2 and 9. I couldn't, first of all, I couldn't see myself living that the life we've planned without him in it. I couldn't even picture it, because it's just been, we'll do it together.
Yeah.
Call it selfish, but I didn't want to do it without him because he had a role he played in the life of the children of our kids. I just wanted him there. I would tell him, I say, if he listens to this, it's gonna just I'll tell him, you better not die and leave me. I will wake you up if you die because you. Oh God, you are so faithful. You know, when it was really bad, I said, you better, because you saw me, I was living my life, I had a good life, I was Denmark, you know. Then you married me, then what is this, you know? That's when you are like, you know.
I think that was how you were processing it.
Yes. You better not die and leave me. If you die, you know, when I say that, you know, he will laugh. He will just laugh. He said, don't worry. By the grace of God, I will not die and leave you, you know. I will not die and leave you. Because my fear is that, how am I going to raise 2 daughters, you know, 2 kids, you know, and day by day, we just saw the hands of God, you know, we saw God take us through that season, and the kids were doing okay. Because I didn't want the kids to ever see him on dialysis. So when he's on dialysis, I make sure I keep them downstairs. Yeah. Then he does his dialysis. I time it. I go intervally. I make sure, you know, either they're in the room or they're downstairs, you know, with me. You know, I'll run up to see if he needs anything. You know, that was,
It must have been challenging.
Yeah, challenging. And
but the children must have known there was something wrong.
Oh, they knew. Our big daughter knew. Then I had that talk, you know, the talk with her, and my husband had the talk with her. Then, you know, she would ask questions, but the little one was just 2.
Okay, yeah, so she shouldn't have understood anything.
She didn't know, and we didn't want to. But I think from the perspective we'll talk to the big girl was, you know, this will make daddy better. This will make daddy better, and went through it, and God just took us through it, and you know, we can't even believe that ever happened because of God. And that's when we were talking about how married people will go through things like this with our support. And that's where actually the celebration of love and laughter in Christian marriage came about, you know, because it's been a project that I wanted to do, you know, all along. But I think what we went through in our marriage kind of, you know, gave us the empowerment or the know-how of how to really put things in place for other Christian couples to just get away one day, just forget everything, come and laugh, dance, see other couples, just bless yourself, both of you just have, you know, fun. And that's where, you know, event that, you know, I convene every year came from.
And I just want to take you back again. You said that you were thinking of leaving the marriage because of this, because you were getting frustrated and overwhelmed. So how did you, apart from when God said you were not being busy and opened your eyes to that, what else did you do to help get your mind in the right frame? So, because I know that when the men listening to this are going to be like, don't go there. But when men are sick, they kind of, I don't know, they find it difficult to handle it. Like women seem to handle, maybe because we go through a lot of physical pain, childbirth and all of that. So periods and all of that. So we seem to handle it better. But with a man, it seems to take them a lot more to process, you know, that they're not well, and then dealing with that. So I can imagine how your husband must have felt as well. He must have felt helpless. So or am I wrong in thinking that way? There may have been times when he felt that way. So how did you deal with that, and how did that also impact you wanting to leave the marriage? And I'm just wondering.
Oh God, yes. So this episode of wanting to leave wasn't once.
Okay.
I think it was twice or 3 times. One time my husband said, please go, I need peace.
Oh dear. You had pushed him to the wall.
You know, because once I said it, you know, I think it wasn't to kind of annoy him or anything. It was just because I just didn't know how to
deal with it.
How to deal with it anymore, and I wasn't getting help.
Yeah.
I was up to my neck that, oh my God, like I was about, okay, let me tell you, I think once my husband said he knew me so well that I don't leave the house without doing my face or doing something to make me look good. Once I was going to the shop, I didn't even comb my hair. I didn't do my face up. Then he said, oh my God, what have I done to this woman?
Mm.
Then later he called me, said, you mean you went out like this? I said, don't worry, because of this I must get well.
Oh.
And that touched me. Because I didn't even know I didn't comb my hair properly or I didn't do my face up. He was the one that, you went out like this? Ha. For this reason, I'm praying I must get well.
Mm.
So, sometimes when I remember that episode, I was just like, oh my God. And I know for some women or some men that are going through some of these challenges or some of these things, you would do something out of the ordinary, or you would behave in a way that your spouse will look at you, this is not her, this is not him. And, it's the way, is the narrative itself, the way it's connected to you, or the way it's related back to you, that makes you like, okay, I didn't even think that way. Even when I was angry, I said, I want to leave my husband. It's the last thing I want to do, really, just because sometimes I was so frustrated.
Yeah.
It was too much for me. I wasn't getting help. There are people there that would have helped me, but I also have to respect the fact that my husband said he didn't want me. He didn't want his vulnerability to become the topic of the discussion in the community, and which we do very well in our community.
Yeah, we hide everything in our community.
We hide it because of experience.
I understand that, but I think we need to learn to start being a bit let me put it this way, less suspicious of other people's intentions.
I don't think it's suspicious. I think, there are people that can handle the talk in the community. There are people that just can't handle the talk. And I think, even as a psychologist myself, educational psychologist, I believe that, we as humans, we need to do better.
Okay.
I listened to one of the pastors that said something of recent. He said, when people are down, we shouldn't push them down more. We should
lift them up.
Yeah, be the lift they need to get up. Even if we don't, it's not about money. Even it's just that smile, it's just that, are you okay, But I think human nature sometimes, when people are down, it becomes, it's as if you're gaining something extra because your fellow human is down. No, it's not intentional. Sometimes it's not intentional. It's just because we're not so used to it that we behave in a way that instead of lifting them, our behavior, lifting them up, it takes them down further.
Sometimes it's not necessarily because they know that they're putting people down or making people feel down. It's more because they don't know what to do. And so in their own clumsy way of, because my last podcast was about grief, dealing with grief. And it's exactly what the guest was saying, that people don't know what to say, don't know how to handle the situation. So they just say things, and sometimes those things are not what the person going through the situation wants to hear. So maybe in this instance, maybe this is what happens. People don't know what to say. And rather than not say anything, say the wrong things. And so it makes people feel suspicious of other people and don't share. Am I saying something that makes sense?
You see, I tell you what, look, it's true what you said. Our community, we are very secretive. Yeah. That's the way we've been,
that's what they teach us.
Yes, that's how we've been raised, It's time for us to start educating ourselves, reshaping narrative in our community. Yeah. However, there are going to be people that you trust, that you would say, listen, I trust this person, let me do this and that. Yes. And several occasions, people have been hurt even by people they trust.
That's true.
So I think every one of us in the global community needs to know what kindness is. Yeah. That when people are going through rough times, as we would all go through one way, one time or the other, that we're supposed to be the balm The healing balm the Bible talks about. You know, we're supposed to intentionally want to be the healing balm.
Yeah.
If somebody's lost their job, it's not so, a high and mighty has lost their job. Is forget what they've done, how high and mighty. Come in as somebody that wants to help ease the situation. Forgive, forget how they have used their CEO status to, you know, downplay you or to whatever. Now they are facing this rough time. How do I now become, you know, a blessing? So if we begin to think like that, maybe people that are hiding stuff, you know, because really I was actually thinking about it, you know, during the time when we're going through that. Maybe for me, if I had had a little bit of help, you know, support, maybe I would have handled some of the issues better. You know, but in retrospect, we're learning every day.
Yeah, we learn every day.
We learn every day. So I think there is that change of narrative that we have to have in our community so that moving forward, we do better.
We do better.
Yeah, because it was a challenging time for myself and my family. But thank God we've come out of it. And one of the things that we said when we got out of it was that we want to be a blessing to marriages. You know, so when you've been to our events, it's a fun place because just like this, somebody dies. Just like this, and everything is over. So we want to have this narrative that when you come, even if you've never had fun with your spouse, your husband, your wife, when you come, you see other couples, you laugh, you dance, because it doesn't take so much for life to be, you know,
To be over. Twinkle overnight.
Yeah.
So I wanted to also touch on this. Was your husband positive throughout the whole situation, or did he have moments when he was down? How did he handle it?
That's a good question. There were days, there were times, you know, where he too was fed up.
Yeah.
And I had to quickly, you know, become a support, you know.
Yeah.
Like, why I'm young, why am I going through this, you know? Why is this happening to me, you know? Oh, look at my kids, you know, I can't even do this. Because if we wanted to go on holidays, we had to think very well, because holidays, we have to think 3 days of dialysis in a week. Don't even talk about Nigeria. We didn't even do that, you know. So where are we going on holidays? If there is a place where you could do dialysis, or also we had to speak to...
So you had to take the machines with you?
No.
Or how did it work?
No. That's why we didn't go so much on holidays during the time. But when we went on holidays, we'll ask the consultant, can we go 4 or 5 days with her? Then that means you don't need to drink so much water.
Okay.
You have to restrict some things. So you find out that...
So it was very restrictive.
When you go on dialysis, you're restrictive. It's a change of a life, you know, style. It's not an easy thing. And that's why even, you know, I used to go to the hospital, you know, just when we had a friend that was going through the same thing, you know. It's restrictive, and people that have gone through, they know how restrictive that is, you know. And so some of these things got back to him, like, why? I'm like, you can ask God, you know. You can, but He might not answer you. Just keep praying and just trust God. And yes, God came through, you know. And he did come through, and we saw that it had nothing to do with us praying. It was just mercy. Mercy.
The mercy of God.
Found my husband, because the whole procedure, everything that happened, you can just say, this is a finger of God. And there were days that he was so like, I'm tired, you know, then I'll have to get in there and like, no, you can be, we're praying, you know. You know how I am, you know. So, you know, and but I tell you what, the part where I wanted to, like, you know, just close this marriage where, you know, that was funny. That was really funny, because that wasn't a solution. I think that was the devil just saying that You've tried now.
I think it was the frustration coming through.
Yes, yeah. Me, I was like, I beg, I've tried. No, I've tried. Where is career? Career, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, But now when I look back, really, you cannot go through, life, marriage, whatever, without some of these challenges. Sometimes they happen to make you better because you begin to understand God better, and you become an epistle that you become somebody that encourages others.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't worn the shoe, what are you talking about?
No.
About the shoe?
Yeah.
You have to wear the shoe. Then
To
when
know
you are,
how it feels.
when you are talking, then you're talking with experience.
Yeah.
You're talking because you have your own narrative. People come and say, I've just been married for 2 years. Is Rosie my husband? Okay. Go through challenge now, make you can't talk this story again. Then we'll go talk. Not be this one when you did talk now. I'm sorry about that. It just shows that from. It just shows that from.
Just be yourself.
That just shows that from being the data, those people that like to throw pidgin English in. So yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. No problem. So I just wanted to take you back. You said you got a match. How long did it take to get a match? And because I know from hearing from other people, sometimes it's a struggle to get a match, and they get a match and then they put the kidney in and then the body rejects it and all of that. Did you go through any of that? How did that work?
No, we didn't go through that. That's
Thank
why
God.
I said that whole story, that part of the narrative, we saw God's hand. I'm telling you, we saw God's hands. That I think He heard me cry. I think it's one of the Psalms that say He heard my cry and He hearkened to my voice. He heard my cry. This God hearkened to our voice. They just called in. I was coming home. I'd gone to one of those teaching assistant thing, and they treated me so badly. And I was coming home to come and pour all my grief on my husband. Come and see my life. With master's degree, I'm doing teaching assistant job. See the way they even treated me. They didn't treat me well. They were unfair. So as I was coming home, he was leaving the phone. He said, "It has happened." I said, "What? What?" "They found a match for me." I said, "What?" "No." I fell on the floor, just worshiping God. Father, I thank you, I forgot how they treated me. What happened? They said I should be coming now to the hospital. We started, getting everything, packing everything, and the rest is history.
So he had the surgery. How long did that take? Was it a long surgery?
He had the surgery, which was done around 1 a.m. or something, around 1 a.m. in the morning, thereabout. And, and it went, I can't remember how long, and the next day I was allowed to see him, He couldn't really, still recovering and everything. And and God just took control of the rest. And here we are. God is still taking care of us.
Yeah, thank God. And he's totally healed, and we just thank God by the grace of God.
So, yeah.
We serve a good God.
God is awesome. God is awesome.
So, just wanted to ask, what scriptures kept you going during this time? Were there any specific scriptures that you held on to that kept you going?
There are a lot of scriptures, I say to people every day, Isaiah 60.
Okay.
I just keep on, 60, 61, I just, Psalm 23, I was my go-to.
Okay.
It's like when you want to choose some cooler, I recite some, I would just recite Psalm 23 every day, you are a shepherd. Then I will go to Psalm 91. We dwell in the secret place of the Most High God. I pray. I think even the Psalm was rebelling.
What do you mean?
Because I would, Then later I got to Psalm 24.
Okay.
Yeah, I was, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, I would, when it gets to gates, I would say gates of sickness, and, even now, I still, because those Psalms became part of me, and I would, and can't remember the verse that healing is like bread unto the children of God.
Healing is children's bread.
Yes, So I would recite that in different versions, I would read it in different versions, I say, Lord, healing is like bread unto us, your children. As we're eating this bread, let it be healing unto us and everything. And I think the scriptures and praying the scriptures became very important, paramount really, is that, my God, because there was nothing else I could do. That's all. Prayers and hospital, prayers and hospital, prayers and hospitals, prayers and hospital. But all in all, there was one person that was in the picture, his elder sister. She's also medical. She's in America. She would call me, how is he doing, So that's just the only person that was in the picture, His elder sister that is like mom to him. She would say, don't worry, Rita. She would call me. She would encourage me. She said, thank you so much. The day my brother married you, I knew he married a good, But those were challenging time. And so, when we look back now and we see how far he's brought us, it's just
give God praise.
Yes. And with our event that is every year for couples, we keep on putting a lot of money. We don't even mind because we know how, it's a privilege to do that, because it's either that or the other way. And we've tested our other way, that what happened to us, we wish there were some places like that we could go to, places where we could just go have fun, laugh,
just take your mind off
stuff,
what you were going through.
What we're going through. They weren't, So that wasn't church. That's why our event is not church. It's not particular church. It's not
affiliated to a particular church.
No. It's everybody. As long as you're Christian, you can just come have fun with other Christians. Take your mind off stuff, because in a marriage, there are lots that are going on. It could be financial crisis people are having in their marriages. It doesn't really have to be health issue.
Yes.
It could be, the issue of another man or another woman, in the marriage. It could be in-laws,
Okay.
So people get away and just take your mind off stuff. So
So we're fast coming to the end of the show today. So I always like to end on a note of hope.
Yes.
So what would you like to say to people out there who may be going through one difficulty, not necessarily illness of a spouse, but something going on in their marriages, and just what can you say to encourage them? Just a word of hope.
First saying, this thing about kindness has become so enlarged in my heart that you cannot be married to a man or a woman without understanding what kindness is. We as men, women, husbands, wife, we need to be kind to one another, because when you're kind to your spouse, you can go the whole length.
Yeah.
When you're not kind, when you become selfish and you're not kind to them, then you cannot, when the challenges come, you cannot go through those challenges with them. So I want to encourage anybody, if you're married, increase kindness in your marriage. There is need now for us to be kind to one, because it's not getting easier, it's getting more tougher.
Yeah, there's so many things going on out there.
A lot of things are going on. We need to, because the kindness, it's like a catalyst. Because if you're kind, kind of, when those issues come, it just kind of, explode, and you see a lot of other ways how you can support one another.
Yeah.
Because you're kind, you carry that seed of kindness. Because people say love, love, love. I don't know whether love is enough anymore. We need to be compassionate and be kind to one another in our marriages. And I know by the grace of God, only by the grace of God, when we're kind to our spouse, the home front will be happy because it ripples. For example, if you come to your wife and your wife is kind to the husband, the children, it ripples to the children. Yeah. And they see it,
yes. They learn from
it. And when these challenges come, the whole family unit can actually be able to go through them, because it's not just one person carrying the whole load. Because even the carer and the patient, we have, that power to encourage one another. Like I said, my husband held my hand once and said, you know what? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for taking care of. I pray God bless you. That is more than £1 million, that actually it sees what I'm going through. It's not easy, and is, so I just want to leave that to people, married couples, thinking about getting married. Please, it's not just a wedding. Try to cultivate it.
That's way beyond the wedding.
Try to cultivate that kindness, harvest it, because there are things that are going to happen in a marriage.
Yeah.
You're like, who sent me? Don't worry, Jesus sent you, and he's behind. He's always behind us.
All right. Thank you so much, Rita. It was really nice having you here. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being you. Thank you so much. We're really grateful for you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in again today and listening to Navigating the Chapters of Challenge with Tele. It's been another good one. We hope to have you again with us sometime soon. Thank you so much, and God bless.